Okay, I'm Michelle Wicks, Assistant Manager of the Help Desk, and we're just going to review some Help Desk documentation and some support highlights, things we'll need to know. Okay, Jeff mentioned this earlier, PeopleSoft favorites. The favorites are not going to migrate over for human resources or student administration. They will for finance, so definitely be aware of that. I'm sure we'll probably get lots of calls, people looking for their favorites, what happened, where did they go, are they in a different spot? They just don't migrate over. So there was communication to the different departments in advance, so hopefully they're taking screenshots and making note of what options they use every day. But if not, just be sure you know how to do a search in PeopleSoft, and we'll have a screenshot in a little bit. But in PeopleSoft, you just click on main menu and search menu. You have a box, you just type what it is they're looking for, if it's class roster or whatever, and then click on the arrow and it will locate any search results. And then for our roles at the help desk, we have our own favorites. So you'll definitely want to make note of the favorites you currently have. But there's a document in Sites that we'll look at in a little bit. Also in Sites, if you just do a search for favorites, there's a list of PeopleSoft favorites that we all use when we need to verify identity and do those kinds of tasks before we change a password. So we need to do that as well on day one on February 25th. And then PeopleSoft security, it's been completely reevaluated and reapplied. So just because a certain person has access to something today, they may not necessarily have access to it February 25th. So we'll have to ask some qualifying questions when they call in and say, hey, I don't have such and such. I used to be able to do it. I can't find it now. We just want to ask those questions, which take note of which environment they're in. As Jeff showed us up on the top, the ribbon. Should they be in student administration? Should they be in human resources? Should they be in finance? So ask them about that. Definitely use the search function to look for what they want. Do they have access to it before? Maybe check their job role in PeopleSoft to see if it sounds like something they should have access to. But of course, we don't know for sure if they should. So if they feel they need that certain option, if we can possibly get the breadcrumbs to that menu option, like if someone, that sits next to them has it and they don't, get the navigation in PeopleSoft and the name of the person that does have the option, and then we can transfer that ticket over to accounts. Absolutely.
Sorry.
That's okay. And their ID and their myBoiseState credentials and all that stuff. And then we'll have some URLs that are going to change. Bronco Web is no longer going to exist, so broncoweb.boisestate.edu will redirect to my.BoiseState.edu. The Bronco Web login page is going to redirect during cutover, to a service down page during our cutover, during our outage period next week. And then after that, it's going to redirect to my.BoiseState.edu. So just to kind of underscore what Jeff has said, all roads lead to my.BoiseState.edu. And then reporting, what we were just looking at, reporting.boisestate.edu will redirect to myinsights.boisestate.edu. And then here are some URLs for PeopleSoft. Human resources and finance, those URLs are not changing. And then student system, of course, that's a new one. And I show them to you here. People might call in and say, hey, I'd like to bookmark this in my browser. I'd like to favorite it in my browser. If they want to do that, they can do that. But we want to encourage everyone to go through myBoiseState to get to PeopleSoft. And that's what we're supporting. We're not pushing for them to create bookmarks. We want them to access these systems through myBoiseState. So that's what we want to encourage them to do. And then in addition, later on down the line, when faculty and staff also have the single sign-on, it's going to be easier for them. They're already going to be in the habit of going to that page so that they will have the single sign-on. Will Bronco Web still exist moving forward? No, it's replaced by, guess what? my.BoiseState. So whenever you are, when you would normally say Bronco Web, you want to replace that with myBoiseState. Yes, I can change your myBoiseState password. Yes, you can get your transcript through myBoiseState. Yes, you can reinstate your myBoiseState account. So we do need to try to highlight that terminology and learn that terminology and kind of pass it on to the customers. Do you have a question?
Yeah. Is there going to be like a redirect setup, so if someone types in myBoiseState instead of my.BoiseState, they'll go there? Because I had that URL.
You know what? I don't know.
I see that happening a lot.
Yeah.
That is a good question. We will. I would imagine so, but we'll follow up on that. That's a good idea.
Probably not. That's a separate domain they'd have to buy.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out. I don't know. No one has asked that yet. Okay, and then during the cutover, we are going to be down. PeopleSoft will not be available Wednesday, February 20th at 6 p.m. next Wednesday, and it'll be down until the following Monday, the 25th at 8 a.m. So PeopleSoft will be down, Blackboard middleware will be down, budget transfer forms, scholarship application, transcript order form will be down, and then in addition, a day in advance, February 19th, internship and electronic advising file will be down. So no doubt we'll be getting lots of calls on that. You know, I can't do my work. What do I do? Is there a workaround? The systems are just down. They need a period of time to, you know, migrate all of these systems. So, you know, emails went out. Hopefully people are aware of this, but you'll just have to let them know that's the outage. What's that? Or, you know, direct them to their supervisor if they're unhappy and they're wondering how they're supposed to do their work. You might want to direct them to their supervisor. But okay, and then during that downtime, of course, we're not going to have access to back office in PeopleSoft either. So to verify identities for password changes, we can use the eRep environment. It's currently in Sites. On one of the tabs up top, there's eRep, and then here's the URL. So that's a mirror copy of the production environment, and hopefully it will be updated as of next Tuesday evening when we need to use it Wednesday. So it should be very much up to date. We can log into that environment with our 8 accounts, and we'll be able to look up customer information to verify identities. So definitely make sure that you log in, make sure you can get there, make sure you can log in, and your favorites will be there as well since it's a mirror of what we're currently using. And then how are we supporting our customers during Go Live? The first 2 days we're going to have a war room type situation. We're going to be in the Applied Technologies building, and the help desk, the phone agents will be working from that building, room 213, for the first 2 days, February 25th and 26th. Until 5 p.m. And the reason for that is because there will be lots of members of the roadmap team there, so we'll have quicker access to information. They'll have access to us to see what kind of questions are coming in, are we having issues, and of course the whole goal is to resolve them quickly, and all the key players are there. And in addition, for us to support our customers, the business analysts, Eric, Nancy, and Diana, will be there. So when we're on phone shifts, they're actually going to be in the room with us, or at least one of them will be anyway. I don't know if all 3 of them will be on at the same time. But we can put the customer on hold if we do have a question or need clarification on something, and then just ask them. And if we don't get a resolution, we will transfer that ticket to the business analyst group. So that'll be something new that we haven't been doing up until this point. And then password facts. Users still can change their passwords as they normally can, but next week when PeopleSoft is down, they're not going to be able to do that. Password history is turned on now, so customers can't reuse one of their last 6 passwords. I know we've had a lot of calls and issues at the help desk where someone will say, I've just changed my password, I'm using the same one I've always used. They should no longer be able to do that, because password history is turned on. It has to be unique, at least for the last 6. And then when you do an administrative password reset, it's no longer going to automatically expire the password. So when you change a password, give it to the customer, and they try it right away, it's not going to say you have 5 grace logins left, do you want to change your password? And it's going to be that way, I think, at least until the end of the year. There's some sort of connector that needs to be built to tie all these systems together so that we do have that functionality again. So when you're changing a password, you may want to try to make it even more complex than normal so that the customer will be inclined to want to change it themselves, so that they're the only one that knows it. And in addition, when they call in for a password change, if they can change it themselves to start off with, you know, ask them if they've tried and maybe just guide them through that process so they can do it themselves. And then during the outage, of course, Bronco Web change password and reinstate password will be removed. No one will have access to do that. And anyone whose password is due to expire during the outage is actually going to be postponed, and it won't expire until March 18th, because we don't want emails going out telling customers it's time to change your password and then they have nowhere to do it. So that's the reason for that postponement. And then once we're live with myBoiseState, if someone's logging in and their password is expired, it won't specifically say that. It will say there's a problem authenticating your account. So after go live, and Jeff showed us this, anyone can change their password on the myBoiseState homepage on the left-hand side, create reset password. If they log into a domain computer, Control-Alt-Delete, change password, or when they're logged into Student Center, main menu, change my password, and that's right here on the right-hand side. Left-hand side is on the myBoiseState homepage. And then just since we're here, here's the search menu as well. If someone needs to search for their favorite or a favorite they want to create, main menu, type in their search term and click the arrow.
Separate pages, like that one goes to the social security number one, and the other one actually just goes password, new password.
On the left-hand side, that's the one where you don't have to be authenticated, so this is where you do need that information. And the right-hand side, it's just old, new, and confirm. And then this is just kind of redundant things we talked about, a few of them anyway. Administratively changed passwords will not expire immediately, but of course they will follow that 90-day expiration as normal. And encourage the customer to change the password themselves if they can. There are no more 4, 7, and 8 accounts as of February 25th. So when someone calls and says, hey, I can't log in with my 4, Michelle Wicks or my 8 Michelle Wicks, it no longer exists. They just need to use their regular myBoiseState account. And then as far as changing passwords, we're going to be using Vault moving forward for all password changes. We will no longer be using BSU Tree. So that's something new. After go live, definitely add your PeopleSoft favorites for the help desk, or anyone who currently has favorites. Make sure you have what you need. And then you'll want to review the Roadmap Quick Reference and other documentation. Roadmap Quick Reference is what you have in front of you, the white sheets, and that's just a compilation of many things that are changing, upcoming, the new URLs, what are the timeouts, what happens if you log out of this and don't log out of that, what's new navigation for menu options in PeopleSoft, where did it used to be, where is it now. So that's definitely going to be a key document, especially for those of you on the phones when people ask you questions, and we'll look at that in a second. Excuse me. So here's a listing of helpful documentation, and we will look at some of this right now. The Roadmap website is just chock full of information, roadmap.boisestate.edu. So if you have a customer calling saying, hey, I didn't know about this, what's coming up, what's changed, I need information, you can direct them to that site. They can look all of this up. There are frequently asked questions. There's training information. There's some recorded training there. It tells you when the drop-in labs are for asking questions. And then, of course, on myBoiseState, where Jeff showed us, click here for help topics. There is just a ton of stuff there. And that's customer facing as well, so you can guide customers to that. And then for our roles, excuse me, at the help desk especially, we've got sites under help desk reference and under enterprise systems. We've got business intelligence, and it's formatted in the incident information and service request format that we use. Ton of information in here about my insights, frequently asked questions, escalation information. Down here we've got myBoiseState information, incident information, and service request. And within here we have some videos. We have a video page where we have some. Jeff has just added a few, but I'm sure we're going to have even more. But that's something you may want to check out. They're just real quick videos, kind of similar to the way Mark Fitzgerald did the SCSM videos on one particular topic. So that is a helpful place to go. The Roadmap Quick Reference that I was just talking about. Oops, I think I already have it open here. You may want to leave this open when someone calls with a question. You can do a Control F if they're asking about a timeout. What's the timeout in Blackboard? Anything else? It's going to show you the hits here. You've got the question in the first column that the customer may ask. Next column is what was the information previously, what's the new information, and then you can just kind of go through that document to find, hopefully, answers to the customer questions. And then we have got, let's see, PeopleSoft administration. So we've got lots of information down here, and this is where you will find the help desk favorites list. So once it pops up, in the first column is what's the action you're trying to perform. You want to verify student has enrolled for classes. It tells you the environment and then the navigation to get there. So I think that is all I have. Let's see. And then, yes, there is the quiz. I don't know if Mark has already sent it out, but it'll be coming. And it's basically just questions on everything we just covered. And the answers are all in the information that the documentation that we just looked at.